Hello, how are you? I'm on the road to LA today, and I'm in a little slow section of traffic, so it's pretty safe here. So we're talking about tinnitus still. I know I haven't been making videos quite as much, but I remember one of the recent comments, someone was saying, yeah, you get used to it, and you don't treat it as a threat anymore, and then you just forget about it. And that first phase it can be the most difficult for a lot of people to get through. Is just learning to not treat it as a threat anymore. Because when you can learn to do that, then the actual tinnitus itself is not going to be as loud. It's hard to understand if you haven't gotten to that point, but there are some ways you can understand it early on if you work on it the right way. So let me just go over this again about habituating to tinnitus and what it's like. You just get to a point where you don't think about it. So what's not in your mind is actually something that does not exist at that moment. So, like I think I've talked about before, let's suppose you just fell down and you hurt your knee, and your knee hurts. So you're thinking about your knee hurting. Now, what if you stopped thinking about your knee hurting? Well, actually, I just about guarantee you that you will stop thinking about your knee hurting. You're gonna need to do some things like take a shower, or if you can, or maybe you have some work you need to do. And at some point, that knee is still gonna be injured, but you won't think about how it hurts. And you literally won't have any perception of pain because, at least for a short time, you forgot about how your knee hurts. And so it's the same thing with tinnitus. You've got the sound there, the nerve receptors in your brain, whose job it is to process sound, are still there, and they're still able to perceive that sound, or lack of sound, or whatever you want to call it, that then creates this tinnitus that we have. And so as we focus our thoughts on this sound, then it can I say innervate? It innervates these nerves to help us to perceive the sound more, because we focus our thoughts on it. So, but as we stop thinking about it and we start to think about some other things, those nerves actually calm down some, and other parts of our brain also quiet down some, and the tinnitus literally gets a lot better. It's still there, that's for sure. And I know there have been some cases where people, it just goes away completely for them, but unfortunately, that I don't know if I'm going to be one of those people. But I am such a person where I'm okay now. I don't worry about tinnitus anymore, and it's not going to cause me great problems in my life, because those nerves have quieted down now. And I know that if I do start to notice it more, that the solution is to just get busy doing something else and don't think about it. And I'm good at that now. I've developed that skill. So my challenge to you is, if you're watching this video and tinnitus is still bothering you, you've got to work on developing that skill of thinking about other things, and it will start to calm down those nerves that are making it so loud for you, and you'll feel a lot better. So let's just go over that a little bit. Well, as you can see, this is just an example, but as you can see right now, this is not the safest thing in the world, but I think I'm okay. I'm driving the car and making a video. So I'm a little bit busy right now. I don't have a lot of time to think about the sound of my tinnitus right now. There's also some road noises around. So the sound of my car going over the bumps in the road and so forth. Yeah, and if I think about it, the tinnitus is there, but it's just sort of out of my focus. So it's sort of not there. A lot of times I 100% don't notice it because I'm so focused in on another thought. So that's just one example, but you got to start thinking about how can you get yourself doing some things where your brain is so being used for that other thing that it may only be a few seconds, but you didn't think about the tinnitus, and if you do, then you can clap your hands. You did a good job. You had a few seconds of no tinnitus perception. So next, you can get better at this skill, and I don't know exactly what activity you want to choose. I remember when I was at my worst, I just played solitaire. I bought a deck of cards at the store, and I played solitaire over and over again, and I just focused on the solitaire. I don't always like the idea of staring at the screen. I don't think that's real healthy. That can sort of make us feel bad. And I don't know about sitting down playing solitaire is the best, if that's the best thing. It's just what I happen to have done. But drawing, I drew things, and I don't really like drawing that much, but I kind of got into it for a little while. I don't draw right now, but I drew some pretty nice pictures, and I copied some things that I liked. I just kind of tried to copy other artists, and I would be comparing the other artists to what I was drawing, and I was copying them, and as you can see, just describing how my thoughts got involved in the drawing of that thing. Another one that I don't know if you can do because I'm kind of weird in this way, but language. Learn another language and see if you can start to speak sentences in another language, memorize sentences, get involved in trying to speak a paragraph, say, or memorize it and say it over and over again. It could be something in English too, where you're memorizing something and you're trying to speak that. And get where you can memorize some famous speech. 77 years ago, our forefathers brought forth to this nation I forgot. But you can memorize something and see if you can do that. So, but anything just to get your mind busy on something, and you're going to start developing that skill. And hey, I was going to tell you, you're busy listening to me, aren't you? And I bet you, at least during some of the time, you weren't thinking about the tinnitus. You were thinking about what I was telling you. So see, you can do it. So I laugh about it now, but it was pretty serious for me before. So, but I just want to say there's a lot of hope here. But you've got to work on it. You got to figure out how to move those thoughts, develop the skills that help you to think about something else, and it's going to get a lot better for you. Okay, I'll talk to you later.